What's up out there? How you doing? Jeff D with the Talent Opportunity Connector for a great tip for the hiring managers this week. So I have a question for you today. All right. So you have a brand new role or you're thinking of hiring folks, and you have to think in account that time is precious. You want to spend the best time. You want to use your time to the fullest. So I have a question. Why going through hundreds or thousands of resumes versus working with a qualified recruiter is a waste of time? So you're saying, what does that mean? Everyone loves busy time. Like I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. But imagine if you're busy just plowing through unqualified resumes, and that's what happens a lot of times when companies are looking to save money. Recruitment agencies do cost. There is a cost involved, but then again, look back at the time spent. They're like, geez, what did I do? All right. So why do you think people do that? Because it feels productive. Feels like one of the lowest return on investments to hire. And we talked about the money, but what's the reality? Volume does not equal quality. And I've seen, case in point, when we've posted jobs up on LinkedIn or any other job board, it's what happens. You end up getting hundreds of resumes, and you post a job, you sit through them, and it doesn't mean their candidates are even viable. Mostly 70% are not even qualified, 20% are loosely relevant, maybe 5 to 10% are worth a conversation, maybe. But you just find, it's almost like cold calling. You make 100 calls, you may get two viable leads from cold calling. It's the same concept. Another thing is, when you post a job and the reason why you get so many resumes, you're mostly getting active job seekers. You want passive job seekers. You want people that are not looking, right? Because the best candidates, they're not applying. They're busy. They're working. They're very selective of where they go. What would a recruiter do? A recruiter we look for passive candidates. That's our pool of candidates. It's really passive, and we pre-vet. Personally, with me, I've had 20 years of hiring talent as a hiring manager, director, VP, in my previous roles. I know the talent out there. I know how to pre-vet the talent, and not to speak for myself, but I'm speaking for any qualified recruiter. And then people you never reach through a job post, because again, the A players do not apply to job posts, and that should be something right there. Write that down, because A players, even sometimes B players, don't apply for job posts. All right. You probably know this as a hiring manager. Screening takes more time than you think. It takes months. Sometimes companies that don't have the best interviewing process, it could take forever, right? You're reading resumes is just the beginning, right? You're doing phone screens. You're doing technical validation. You're doing the cultural fit. You're making sure everybody in your interview team likes the person, right? Of course, compensation is a big issue sometimes. Aligning compensation wants and what's offered. That's so many hours, dozens of hours pulled away from what you're really hired for. Now think about it. As a hiring manager, right? You may run in the finance department. You might be running the legal department. You may be the chief security officer. Do you really have time for all this? Probably not, right? And this is a big one, and I've learned this lesson in my career, right? Bad hires are expensive. Imagine you're rushing and settling because you're overwhelmed. You're like, I got to hire somebody. All right, I'll just pick this unqualified C player out of that pool of 100 resumes that I just got, right? Bad hires cost time, actually kills the morale of your team, kills productivity. You want to move ahead. You want outcomes. You're not going to get that with a bad hire, right? So what does a recruiter do? A recruiter reduces that risk by filtering the pot up front. Believe me, I'm personally very good at reading people. Are they going to be a fit for this role? I study the culture of your company. Look who's there. You even look at the schools you went to and see if make sure there's a cultural fit. And the key with a recruiting agency like ours, 3 to 5 great candidates are going to be on your doorstep, not hundreds and hundreds of unqualified. And here's another one. Speed matters more than ever, right? Top candidates are off the market in days. I've had this situation a few times, right? Companies that we worked with just drag their feet, and guess what happens? Their A candidate is gone. Top candidates don't waste their time. They don't waste time. They don't take weeks, right? While you're using, resume number 87, and scheduling initial screen to all the other candidates, what happens? They're probably gone. But what the recruiter does is they already have the qualified, engaged, and present the top talent to you while you're still going through resumes. Now that's a pain point you have to realize is going through so many unqualified resumes is wasting time. You should be deciding, not searching. You should have qualified resumes in front of you right from day one, not day 75 or day 300, right? Your highest value as a hiring manager is interviewing finalists only, making strategic decisions, and building your team, not digging through resume piles, right? So the bottom line, going through 100 resume is busy work disguised as progress, right? Working with a recruiter, chaos becomes curated shortlists, if that's what you like. Your guesswork becomes insight, and you're partnering with your recruiter. And there's all those delays, you turn into a speed demon. How's that? So I hope this helps you out there as if you're in the world of hiring. And if you're in the world of pre-hiring, you're still trying to figure out what you need in your organization, reach out to a qualified person like ourselves here, and we'll be there for you. Hope this helps. Have a great day, and remember, be productive, not busy.